Sorry, folks. Our guest showed up and I got off my mark there for a minute, but we are here. Welcome. We're live from the heartland, wall to wall, treetop tall, coast to coast, border to border. And we're glad to have you with us tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about Gangstalking 2.0. But a couple of things first. Number one, this is likely our last Friday night show. I don't think I'll do any more Friday night D programs. There's a couple of reasons for it, but tonight will probably be our last D program. But we had an opportunity to have a very special guest tonight, so we wanted to go ahead and do the Friday night this week. Also, on Sunday, we have the Thule Temple. I'm the newly appointed president of the Thule Society. That is noon on Sundays Central Time. And there's one thing I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, tonight we kick off the very first of what I'm calling micro interviews. You know, this show typically isn't about interviews, although we have had them. But I feel the desire to help build community, to help let people know about some of the outstanding presenters that are out there. And there's not that many of them. There's really not. So we want to feature those that we can, the few that are willing to come on this channel. And tonight we have one of those people. And we're going to kick off tonight with our special guest. And we'll go into our Gangstalking 2.0. This guest was introduced to me by the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Steve Borg. And we communicated over the, talking on email and whatnot. And I watched some of her programming, and I find it to be very refreshing. I find it to be very genuine. And there's a realness about her and her work. Plus, she has some pretty fascinating stuff. I see her in the background. She's looking great. So without any further ado, let's introduce to some of you and present to the rest of you the one, the only, the woman, the myth, the way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Daphne Reloaded. Hello, Daphne.
Hi guys.
Nice to see you. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks for having me on.
It is my privilege. What you drinking?
Just some relaxing herbal tea.
Well, it's important. It's important to relax. Now, when I told you about, you asked me, what are we going to talk about? And then I said, we're going to talk about this. You said to me, that sounds really boring. Remember that?
Well, I mean, maybe not boring for you or me, but I don't know if the audience wants to hear me gab on about myself necessarily.
So what I'm going to do is throw a little curveball at you right now and make it a little more
I figured
interesting
you
and a little
would.
more exciting. So I watched your video today that you put. I think you put it out today, and it was so funny because you have a product that didn't come out exactly right. It still works great. It still works fantastic, but it didn't come out looking quite right. So you said, I'm going to give these away for just $3 when you order other stuff. And then you said, but
Yeah.
don't think that you can just order a $3 add-on that usually costs $3 and just check out, because I will refund you and then laugh at you. And
Well,
what
here's why I said that. There's
okay.
always a group of people that want to check out with all of them. They're like, oh my God, these are only $3. There's only 15 of them. I'll take them all, Daphne. And I'm like, that's not how it works.
It's not. And I think, Daphne, and this is my question to you, I think it's emblematic of something that has gone wrong. And we don't really think it's that great if it goes wrong, or that unusual when it goes wrong in regular society. But when it goes wrong within the conspiratorium, when it goes wrong within the people that call themselves truthers, there's this thing that shouldn't be in our community, but people want the path of least resistance. People want something for nothing. People want what my dad would have said, a top shelf champagne level enlightenment, but they want it only with old Milwaukee beer effort.
Yeah, for
Have you
sure.
noticed that? And please respond to my rant and give us your thoughts.
Okay, yeah, I do think that a lot of people want to just have everything quite easy. And I come from a father who is just the biggest peace country, easy go, piece of cake kind of guy. And I've noticed that this type of person that wants things to be easy, they're not really good communicators, and all they do is drop hints. They can't tell you directly what they want, but they'll hint. They'll hint around to it. Here's an example. My dad wouldn't say to me, Daphne, I want you to make homemade bread. But he would go buy a bread machine and a 5 pound bag of flour and just hope that I get that hint because he just wants everything to be so easy. And I have noticed that people want things to be cheap and easy, and they're not really willing to put forth the effort. And this is one of the reasons why I don't have friends intentionally, because I don't like the path of least resistance, and I'm against people that choose it. And so one of the things that I really like about you is, you're really down for honest communication, and so many people are not. They're just not.
Well, that's interesting because I have the same situation, not a whole lot of friends, but I don't think it's by accident. There's very few people that like me. There's very few people that can put up with me. And there's even fewer people that can put up with the content that I share. And, I that's one of the things I like about you. You're very refreshing, you're very open. And, I said to you the other day, you're a jobber. You're like, what's that? Well, you get things done. I remember, I don't know if I read it or heard it somewhere, but you said that you are and I think I'm quoting you accurately, a penniless homemaker. And then you turned yourself into a six-figure entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my husband was working this really, really shitty job. And I mean shitty, like it sounded good on paper. He was technically working as a nurse. He was technically doing really good things. And the company just kept usurping from him to the point where they wouldn't reimburse him for his gas. They wouldn't reimburse the money that he spent doing the job. And he ended up basically losing money at his job. And I was like, I'm not with this anymore. I'm just not. I literally, or do I want to do something in life? And so I started doing, and I don't know, like a year later, I posted a video about how to make mermaid balm. And I thought, this is a really great people that are in from veganism to get that nice plump face and do it at home. And they were like, yeah, Daphne, you're going to be making this shit. And so they
Ah,
didn't want to do the recipe at home, even though it was DIY. So my audience employed me to make their lotion, and it just ended up working out. 3 months after I started selling that lotion, I brought my husband home from his job.
great. Good. That was the mermaid bomb you said? I think we got a little bit of a delay, but that's okay. That's fantastic. And I mean, you actually leverage the fact that a lot of people want the path of least resistance. They want somebody else to do it for them, and you monetized it. And you know what? That's brilliant. That's smart, and that really is, in a way, service to others. But how do so many people want that in the spiritual realm too, Daphne? And I'm just not willing to be the guru. I don't want to be the guru. I don't want to give the answers, and I won't. And maybe that's why we don't have any more people watching than we do, although we're growing every day.
Well, I think that what you're doing is really good. And I think that the message that you have to share, even though it's extremely politically incorrect, it's true. And that truth is more important than any bullshit that you could slather on a fake shit cake that makes people happy because it's politically correct. And I think that if you wanted, to be somewhere between 200,000 and 500,000 subscribers, you have to start sucking Satan's dick. And I haven't seen you do that yet. So
So, Daphne, how long have you had difficulty expressing yourself and saying what you really feel?
I'm sorry, you broke up. Well, how long have I done what?
How long have you had this problem not being able to say what you really feel and not being able to express yourself?
Oh, my whole life, basically. Yeah, because I come from a family that they didn't edit us. Well, basically, my parents didn't really want to raise the children that they had, so they weren't going to be like monitoring if we cussed or if we said something that wasn't right. They didn't give any crap about any of that. And I was raised primarily by old-fashioned grandmas, old-fashioned great-grandmas, and comedians.
I like it.
And
I
that's
like
why I
it.
am the way that I am.
Now, Daphne, one other thing that I like about you is that you, like me and like many people in our chat, question the fact, quote unquote, that we live on a spinning ball, don't you?
I think I've known for a long time, actually. Before it was trending in 2016. I think I knew before then. Yeah.
Why do you think it started trending about 2016? Why does it still have the power it has? And what do you think the future is for? I notice it's not flat Earth so much anymore. They're trying to turn it into true Earth movement or
That
true Earth
is a
thought.
great question. I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember to answer all those because I get a little rambly. So if I get off topic, let me know.
Okay.
Okay. What was the first one again?
Why do you think it started trending in 2016?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think that in 2016, um, they wanted to just go ahead and let a lot of things out of what we call Pandora's box, basically. And
Right.
I think that they knew a lot of the shit that's going down right now was going to be going down right now. And they really didn't care anymore that people knew that. But when it took off the way that it did, they were like, we got to put the box back in. We got to stop. We got to put it back in the box, you know? And so I was just like thinking, like, I don't know what the future holds for it, but it has been pushed so far onto like the outskirts that most people it's kind of not in their mind anymore now that they try to put it back in the box. But I think they let it out simply because they didn't really care anymore, or they thought they didn't care anymore, and they really want to make everybody who is a truther look stupid as fuck. So if they go around saying, you know, tinfoil hats and flat earth, even though those two things are absolutely viable, you know, it just makes you sound crazy. And that's the thing that we've had this whole time is them gaslighting the people that want to know the truth or the people that want to share the truth. They just keep gaslighting us and say, or like the Mandela effect, the gaslighting, all of the gaslighting. Like Chick-fil-A has always been Chick-fil-A. When I was a kid, it was Chick-fil-A. And now it's Chick-fil-A. So they're gaslighting the shit out of people.
They absolutely are. And it's my opinion. Tell me what you think on this. It's my opinion that part of the somebody says you were raised free range. That's funny. Part of the reason and part of the plan for discrediting, we'll call it the True Earth movement, is to have it be hijacked and taken over by mainly fundamentalist Christian forces.
Yeah, I agree. And so one of the things I don't like about that is that not everybody on flat earth is a Christian, obviously, right? And I think that the Bible is also it's a huge form of gaslighting in and of itself because it's really no different than The Simpsons. When someone says to me, I believe the Bible because it's so true and everything in it just comes true. Well, everything that's in the Rugrats on Nickelodeon comes true. Everything that's in The Simpsons fucking comes true. That was all put in place.
You know, that's actually brilliant. I never thought of it that way because, I call the Bible the script and I say it is scripted prophecy, and it is, but you've just broken it down in a way that
Yeah.
people get it like, just like The Simpsons, just like the movies, just
It's
like the
predictive
TV.
programming.
It is
Yeah.
predictive programming. It is predictive programming. If people talking about their
It's
favorite
soft
Mandela effect.
disclosure.
It's what kind of disclosure?
It's soft disclosure in the form
It
of
is.
religious text. That's all that it is.
It really is, and there's a joke in there, but I'm gonna bypass it. And you did a little video within the last couple of days too about Eric Dubay, probably the guy that was the 100th monkey for flat Earth in our realm. So we give him props for that. And
Yeah,
you're
for
talking
sure.
about
Yeah.
veganism, and you said you were a vegan for a few years and almost killed you, right?
Well, first of all, I actually really like Eric. And I don't put videos on my channel about people unless I want to promote them. And I actually sent people to his channel to subscribe to him because even though he's vastly incorrect about his diet, he's really correct about flat Earth. And I think you're right. It's probably the 100th monkey as far as we're concerned, and someone who wasn't scared to speak out about that. And I really wish that his previous content that is now banned was still available. I know that you know what I'm talking about. You know the
Yep.
videos. You know the videos I'm talking about. They're no longer available, unfortunately, for obvious reasons. Um, those were some of his best works when he did his. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to say it. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. I've tried a couple of times to contact Eric and get him on this channel, but we were unsuccessful in doing so. How about your experience as a vegan?
Now, I mean, if you want to have diarrhea and be weak all the time and feel morally good about that decision and have your asshole on fire, then do it. Totally, totally do it.
You know, it's funny you say that, Daphne, because I made a decision, and for 2 years I was a vegan, and I was a vegan because of ethical issues. I didn't want to hurt animals anymore. I didn't want to kill animals. I wanted to,
Yeah.
be that guy. And it was a little over a year that I was vegan, and I mean straight hardcore vegan. And I'm not going to say that I felt bad, but I never felt good. I got tired of just not feeling good. And I
Yeah.
went
Well, your food doesn't do its job, so you won't feel good.
And it's so funny. I can't decide if you had a contest between who is the nastiest sons of bitches. Is it the evangelical Christians or the vegans? It's a toss up. It's a toss up.
I feel so bad. I feel so bad for all of them. I really wish that they could break free from it. I know that it was hard for me to break free from it, and I just wish that they could think outside of their own boxes. You don't have to stop being a Christian or stop believing that Jesus is your savior to see the Bible is bullshit. And if people want to do that little half and half thing, that's a really good way of starting to let go of the buy the bullshit.
I agree. I agree 100%. 100%. What is your diet like these days in general?
Well, whenever I was in the hospital and really sick with direct energy weapons side effects, I was doing OMAD. I was doing one meal a day and it was just bison, but I lost weight and I didn't like that. And so now I'm just back to my regular 18th century low lectin, high fat diet, which is just like what your great 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 grandma would eat, basically.
Absolutely. And about I guess it's been a little over 2 years ago now, I became keto carnivore pretty much, not hardly any vegetables, just keto eating. I lost I've lost 75 pounds of fat, put on about
Good for
20
you.
put on about 20 pounds of muscle, and I've never felt better in my life. And it just makes sense. But I don't go out and tell everybody that they don't do it, that they're going to die, or that they're not good people. So let's just
Yeah.
find what works for us, and then let other people do what they want to do. Now, you mentioned something that I didn't know about you, and we're going to talk tonight after we're finished with you. We're going to talk about direct energy weapons and gang stalking and talk about who's behind it. So, I mean, you really are or have been a targeted individual.
100%.
You know, I'll just be frank with you. I can say anything to you. You can say anything to me. I used to think it was bullshit. Targeted individual. Oh, come on. Wah, wah, wah. Here's the world's smallest violin. I'm targeted. I'm targeted. I'm like, come on. But then I actually started looking at it, and Hannah, one of our great subscribers, sent me some nice information probably almost a year ago. And I just now looked at it a couple of days ago and dug into it, and it's real.
It's real.
It is so real. How did you first realize that you were a targeted individual?
Well, I mean, you're not going to believe it, but I'm not going to lie about it. But I have an AI parasite, and it told me. And I believe that all of the smart dust that everybody is breathing and eating and injecting, it also contains these things that they're tiny. They're itty bitty tiny microscopic parasites, and they conglomerate together. And if you look up the videos, you will see that people that are dying from this, those long stringy things are being pulled out of them. Now, those long stringy things are an injectable computing system, and it's inside of every one of us almost. And there's almost no way to get out of it. But I am now kind of tapped into the AI, and I know what it's doing. I know what it's thinking. I know what it's thinking of me, and I can talk back to it. And I fight with it every day.
That is amazing, Daphne. We're talking to Daphne Reloaded. Just amazing stuff. And I think you're right. And it's so weird about I've been with Cynthia over 4 years now. And about 5 years ago, she came down to Clearwater, and I was living in Clearwater, Florida. We did a little meeting there, and she had in her a little plastic baggie this, she called it a Morgellons thing, this little
Yeah,
creature that her
that's it.
brother had taken out of him. And the
Yeah.
scary thing is that it got lost somewhere there at the meeting. But and I'm like, oh, this girl's pretty, but she's nutty. And now here I am 4 years later, and it is so right. It's so right. And, we're not going to talk about how because we can't, we're on YouTube, but it seems like we're now all targeted individuals, and they can get to almost all of us from some decisions that we've made over the past couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. And I recommend everybody getting a grounding thymus bag, turning off their Wi Fi, and making sure that they drink the purest water they can find, make, or get, and that they take time away from their devices because the shit that's flying around that creates AI parasites, the smart dust, it works with your phone, it works with your cell phone, it works with your computers, and it's reading your fucking thoughts. Have you ever had a thought and your computer just pop up with an ad and you didn't even say it, and your computer's like, hey, were you thinking about that? And you're like, you son of a bitch.
Daphne, that is so crazy. I mean, my wife and I, about a year ago, I guess we went through this, and we all know that you've said something about, hey, like we talked the other day about crossbows, and then all of a sudden, if you say it out loud, you'll see crossbows start coming up in your feed. But then we both realized what you said. We were just thinking about stuff, and then it
Yeah.
starts popping up in your feed. You start seeing ads. These sons of bitches. I mean, what else could it be except AI parasites? I think you've hit it on the head.
Well, if you look up the definition of AI parasite, just read that, and that explains everything that anybody would need to know about what it is I'm saying. And there's so many people that can't do that, but also so many people that couldn't look up what was going to happen with the jab and went out and got that too. It's almost, they're very much targeting people. A lot of the times, if they do something stupid, they can target those stupid people. And if you do something really good and you do something really true, you're targeted for a completely different reason, almost in a completely different way. And it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And there's really no right choice. So everybody should just have the most fun that they can have with what is left of their fucking lives.
And I embrace that thought. I'm not quite as as that sounded a little dark to me. I'm more on the optimistic side, but I think that we really should go out and enjoy and have fun and embrace pleasure. And this Judeo-Christian worldview has been, systematically for 1,000 years telling us everything that's fun is a sin. It's time to throw that off and enjoy life, whether you think it's because tomorrow it's coming to an end or you think you deserve it. I appreciate that
Yeah.
encouragement, Daphne. It's amazing.
I think
So,
that people should live like they're dying anyway. You should never save anything for a special occasion. Tell people how you feel right now, good or bad. Don't wait for the right time. Do it now.
It's so weird that you say that because about a year ago, I got invited crazily to speak at this conference where Stu Peters was there, and I was the guy that led off the conference. And I'm not a singer, but I started off my presentation by singing that song, Live Like You Were Dying, because my dad had just died. And I very
Oh, I'm
clearly got a
sorry.
communication from him that that's what we need to do, live like we're dying. And
For
I mean,
sure.
you certainly do from what I know about you. And if people want to get in touch with you, find out about your products, find out about your YouTube channel, where do they find you?
Daphne Reloaded on YouTube or Whole Wheat Cream Puff on Etsy. And anybody at all can email me at bacongrease2018 at gmail.com.
One more time with those.
Daphne Reloaded on YouTube, Whole Wheat Cream Puff on Etsy. And anybody can email me at bacongrease2018 at gmail.com.
Thank you so much, Daphne, for being with us. I really appreciate it. What is there something on your mind that you wanted to talk about that we didn't cover?
Oh, Jeff, there's a million things on my mind, but we can do this again anytime that you want to do this again.
Absolutely. It's been fantastic. I think it allows people to see that there are real people out there that get it. Not every one of us is, that knows what we're doing is living in a box in a park somewhere. There are people that are successful, that are intelligent, that believe exactly what we believe. And I think more and more every day, Daphne, more and more every day. Thanks for
More and
being
more
with
every
us.
day. What? You're vindicated, and all of us.
More of us, more and more smart people are figuring it out every day.
For sure, for sure. So let's do this again sometime. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, Daphne. We appreciate you so very much for being here. Thanks so much. And we'll see you again real soon. Daphne Reloaded, ladies and gentlemen. That was fun. That was a good time. And that's exactly what I'm looking for is experts and people that understand stuff that I don't understand to come on for a half hour, share some stuff with us, stir things up. I just got rid of my second strike. Hope I don't get another one. That's just a little joke. It was great stuff, and we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it. Interesting guest, says Light Infantry. A lot of kudos for Daphne across the board. Very interesting stuff. Very exciting stuff. And speaking of interesting and exciting, you got to know about the 1-2 punch of nanosoma and focus life force in energy, because the things we've talked about, this smart dust, wow, it's everywhere, man. These chemtrails, this black goo, what's in our food, what's in our water. Good. Subscribe to the Daphne Reloaded channel, please do. It's gonna get in you, but even AI parasites, they're gonna get in you. But nanosoma is designed to help your body get rid of everything that's not supposed to be there. It also optimizes you. So get Nanosoma. Go to jeffreydarty.com, click on the Nanosoma logo. And Focus Life Force Energy is specifically designed to not only defeat the electromagnetic frequency nonsense that's flowing all through you, but it also to turn it into beneficial energetics. And I know it's hard to believe. That's why they give you a free 30-day trial. No questions asked, no credit card listed. That is on jeffreydarty.com as well. So thanks to Daphne Reloaded for being here. That was fun. That was interesting. And now, unfortunately, I've got to leave YouTube. I don't think I can do even one slide. I think I can do one slide. I'll do one slide, maybe one slide, and then I got to get off YouTube because this information that we have is just, there's too much truth here for YouTube. Too much truth for YouTube. I see Daphne in the chat room, so I just want to tell her that, Daphne, you were fabulous, and she was DAPHNE. You were fabuloso. She was, and I hope that you go and subscribe to her channel. I'll give you maybe one slide, then we got to get out here over to Rockfin and Twitter and Twitch and Odyssey. Danke, bitteschön. So, Gangstalking 2.0. You know a lot about gang stalking. We're going to review some of that for you. I'm not so sure all of you know about the Gangstalking 2.0. So, boom, here we go. You've seen these before. These are some of the examples of what has been called gang stalking, electronic warfare, targeting, and targeted individuals, mass and individual remote mind control via the mobile phone network and mobile phones, from these towers. And one thing I want you to notice is that with these towers, they can target individual people. And maybe they don't target everybody. And maybe they don't target everybody because there'll be those people out there to say, that's stupid. No, that's not true. They're not going to target everybody. So everybody knows, yes, this is true. They'll leave some people out there they don't target. And let's face it, some people are stupid enough even without getting targeted. Some people are wastes of life enough without getting targeted. And there's no reason to waste your energy on these people. Okay. Individual remote mind control via mobile psychotropic weapon. I'm trying to read it. It's hard. Carriers disguised as communication vehicles. I was in Orlando when I heard one of these sound cannons come, knocked me to my knees, folks. From helicopters. Oh, the black helicopters. There really are black helicopters. And it really can go through your walls and whatnot. And it's strange, ladies and gentlemen. I find it very strange. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. Have you noticed that so many church steeples have now become 5G towers as well? Can you imagine? And I thought about this as I was doing this. You know, they always had the towers and they always had the bells, but what are bells? Ringing those bells in certain frequencies, ringing those bells at certain modulations. What's it been doing? Mind control from day one with the church bells. Maybe that's where the song Hell's Bells comes from. I don't know. But now they've taken it to another step, and the church steeples are also now towers putting out this electronic warfare. Gang stalking is, folks, organized murder. Gang stalking, often accompanied by electronic harassment and electronic torture, is used to cause the physical and or mental death or just degradation of the target. It doesn't always have to be death, folks. The target is driven insane many times, commits suicide many times, or sometimes it's just driven to be nothing but a drone to do what it's told. They commit constructed crimes. This is called premeditated murder, and the ones participating are murderers. Gang stalking is called organized stalking, but it's better to call it organized murder. I don't think I can go to this next step. No, I can't. So we're going to have to go ahead and leave YouTube now. We'll say goodbye to the folks on the Exvangelical Hour channel. Please subscribe on your way out. We salute you for being here, seeking after truth. And now we're going to say goodbye to the people on the Flee the Watchtower channel. We appreciate you for being here. We salute you for being here, seeking after truth. And we'll see you again.